The Ebbinghaus forgetting curve describes the brain's decrease in ability to hold information over time. It is called the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve because of the initial research that was done by Hermann Ebbinghaus about this topic in 1885. Ebbinghaus conducted a series of tests and found that memory retention is 100% at the time of being given information or being presented with facts. But it drops really quickly to 40% within a few hours or a few days of being given that information. And you can see this in this graph, the rapid drop of retention of memory. The retention of information depends on a few things. It depends on how meaningful was the information to the person that was given that information. It also depends on the way that the information was presented. People remember and learn things in different ways. So the way that the information was presented depends on how quickly people will lose memory of it. And the last thing that determines the retention of memory is the physiological effects or the physiological state in which the person was. Lack of sleep, whether they were hungry, whether they were stressed. A few things affect the brain's ability to retain memory. So if people are in a very good state of mind, they will retain memory for longer. But if not, the memory retention or lack of memory or decrease in memory retention will be much quicker. So what does that mean for us salespeople? What does the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve means for salespeople? It means a few things. First of all, when we talk about listing presentations or presenting to a buyer at the point of trying to make a sale, it means that we want to try and get things done and finished at that appointment, not come back later on, because the minute we leave them with the information, they will begin to forget what we spoke about and the information that we give them. So we really want to try and finalize everything in that one or in the second appointment, but in that appointment of getting things done. The second thing for salespeople to remember is that if we need to give them time to think it over, we want to try and make an appointment at the end of the appointment that we are in order to come back and see them. And that appointment should be as quickly as possible or as close to the presentation time as possible, so less information gets forgotten. The third thing that we need to remember as salespeople is that when we come back to see people again, whether it's a day later, a couple of days later, or a week later, there's a very good chance that they would have forgotten most of the information that we gave them. And therefore, we probably need to remind them what we spoke about before trying to sell and get things done. Just remind them and then slowly move into getting things done. So remember those three things, they're crucial. The fourth thing, which is just as important, is that if we have given people everything that they need in order to be able to make a decision, and the answer that we get from them is we need to think about it, there's a very good chance that the problem is not with the information, but with us, the salespeople, and we are probably not going to get that business. So the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve, just remember that the brain's ability to hold information decreases really quickly. And then when we come back to see people, really important to remind them what we spoke about, so it is easier for them to remember, relate, and then get things done, unless we are able to do it in that initial appointment.